Welcome back to the party package. My name, there goes my hat, is Owen, and welcome back. Today we are going over the San Jose Sharks. Now, if you've kept up with my videos, you might notice that there's a lot more memorabilia and merchandise for this team than any other team that I've had so far, other than maybe the Coyotes. And that's because this is my favorite team. This is a signed hat by Couture, too, so that's pretty cool. But anyways, we're going over their season preview for today. And it's going to pain me to do this because they're my favorite team. But I will say, and everyone knows it, and I'm not ashamed to say it, is that the Sharks are not terribly good. They're pretty terrible. So, first off, let's get the question that I like to pose in every video, all of these season previews, is what is the hope? What is the goal of this team going forward? Because of the new general manager, Gruyere comes in, he trades away our top 10, I think was it top 10? Pretty sure it was top 10 first round pick, trades all the way for 27th, 30. It's really late in the first round, picks up someone. Now, and then he trades for Luke Kunin. So it's like, okay, well, if you saw those moves, you would think this is a team that wants to win. But then you look back on paper and you see a team that can't win. So let's go over it. So what are the pros before the con? The pros of this team is that they have Timo Meier, which if you haven't watched Timo Meier play, he is such an incredible talent. I cannot stress how much Timo Meier is a legitimate, underrated player in the National Hockey League. He truly is remarkable what he does on the ice. When he goes out there, he pushes so hard because he's a big guy. He's the definition of a power forward. He can body his way through people. He crashes the net like no one else does. He's got speed. Like, when he's on the ice, he's a one-man wrecking crew. The problem is that he is the only man wrecking crew on this entire team. Sure, you got guys like Tomas Hertl who are incredible, who got his 8-year by $8 million something dollars contract, which is a little bit of an overpayment for Hertl. However, I think it would be okay if he was on a team that had better support. And that's the thing about it, is that guys like Meier, guys like Hertl, guy like Couture, guys like LeBanc once he's healthy again, is these guys will be able to can produce points. It's just they're saddled with guys like Barabanov, and then they're stuck with guys like Gregor or Bonino. Like, they don't have anybody else to really boost them to that next level like they used to. Remember when Meier, a few years ago, when the Sharks had their best year in quite a while, when they got second and were like third in the whole league, was because they had Kane was going, Pavelski, Thornton was still actually somewhat decent. It was when Carlson was only got like 40, 50 points, but that's not bad for a defenseman. Like, this team was running, and this team was getting points, and Meier got 40-something goals. He almost got the 50. That's when he got his contract. This team, their top guys like Hertl, Meier, and Couture, these guys are so good at hockey. The problem is that they've got no one to play with, and they're not good enough to be those superstars by themselves. They need someone to help them out, or at least not just help them out, but to let them play instead of just losing the puck and having the other team always score on you. So, another pro that I'd like to go over really quick is their goaltending. Reimer, Kakkonen, whatever you say his name, and Aiden Hill, those are three goaltenders that when they're on fire, they are on fire and you can't get anything past them. So goaltending could be a really solid mixture of those three guys who Hill's injured right now. But a mixture of those three guys in the net and Kakkonen, and that mixture of guys could run games, like, let's say, like 5 games at a time. Reimer's on fire. He's not letting anything through until finally he gives up. Kakkonen comes in, then he goes through like 5 games. Like, I can totally see these goalies going back and forth and actually being dominant goaltenders in net, because that's who they are. They're the type of goalies that when they're on, they're on. It's just they're not always on. So I think that could be an interesting combination there. However, where things fall apart are, for one, defense. Defense is absolutely terrible. Not the it's terrible. Carlson and Vlasic, of course, way overpaid. I love Erik Karlsson. I have one more jersey of the Sharks, but I don't know where it is right now, so I can't put it up. It's a Karlsson jersey because I loved him when he got traded because he's got the hair out of there. Anyways, Karlsson is, of course, everyone knows he's overpaid and he only got 30 points. He's been going down in points every year. Last year actually wasn't too bad. Well, last year, I guess. But Karlsson way overpaid. Vlasic, oh my God, overpaid. Ferraro just got re-signed. I think he's pretty solid. He's pretty good enough to actually be a contributing member of the team if they could actually play something. I have always had high hopes for Ryan Merkley personally. Merkley, in my opinion, could be an outstanding defenseman. I just think he needs that little bit time more to grow. That's how defensemen work, though. They need time to grow. And then Šimik, I mean, the guy that, for some reason, the only way the Sharks should win is Radim Šimik. Nudi Vara, I like him. I've always thought he was a defenseman that just needed to click. So I like that sign. I've always liked Nudi Vara. But the thing is that overall on this team is that it's really, really stale. When you look at this team, I don't see a team that's actually offensively built or defensively built. It's very stale and flat. To me, Barabanov, Kunin, Gregor, Bonino, Lindblom, Veal, Sturm, Lorentz. Oh, actually, that bottom line I'll get to. But to me, this team's got a lot of no identity. This team doesn't have like we're well-rounded, or, we're really strong offensively, or really good defensively. We're not really built as a solid structure for trying to do a single thing. It's kind of like we have 18 guys to put on the ice. We got the job done. And that's kind of where I see it. I've liked Luke Kunin. I've got a funny history with Luke Kunin that I can tell about one day. But I like him and Gregor and Bonino and Lindblom, which I love that Lindblom still got his contract with my team. Lorentz, Sturm, and Veal, I feel like has the potential to be one of those random really good lines that are like not like astounding, but to me those like three guys, I'm pretty sure they're all German. Maybe they're not. I could be completely wrong, but I don't forget I said that. They just seem like the type of line that could like kick and just be like, 40 points somehow for all these guys. Just one of those random lines for 1 year are really good, but like won't be good after this year. I don't know, something stupid. But anyways, this team together just doesn't fill any goals. It's just very stale and flat, and it doesn't seem like it's going to get anything done. They're not going to be an offensive threat like how you could say about like the Ottawa Senators. The Senators, you could say, are offensively well-built, but defensively are bad. Or you can say a team like the Islanders are defensively well-built, but pretty offensively not very good. The Sharks are not built really well anywhere, and that's the main problem, is that they don't even have building blocks, really. They're kind of falling blocks. I mean, other than, like, Hurtelmeyer and Couture, I mean, those aren't really building blocks. Those are just a solid start, I guess, which, whatever. It just shows that they're crumbling. Now, there's a few questions I have, like William Eklund. Does he make the team? Why Ozzy Weisblatt? I just love him, so I'd love if he could make the team one day. You got Philip Bysted, the guy that they drafted. He's 6'4", 210 pounds? He's a pretty big guy. So you could see him maybe cracking the squad. Of like a guy that size, you could put him on the fourth line and see if he can cause some damage like Timo Meier, who's pretty big too. So the Sharks are a team that I don't really know what to do with. What I would do if I was in charge, how would I fix this team? Well, for one, you got to figure out a way, which would be impossible, but figure a way out to get rid of Vlasic's contract at least. You would want Karlsson's out, but Karlsson he's not going to, no team I could really see taking on his contract. Maybe you do something where you hold half of it or something and just get rid of them, and then you get like $5 million in cap space or so. But that would be not even that good of a move, and they end in so far into the future that usually you have this problem like how you could have with Malkin or something in Pittsburgh, is that in next 2 years it could be absolutely terrible. But you're stuck with Karlsson for the next 2027. So 4 years, or 5 years, depending on how you look at it. This is just a very not well developed team. And it kind of reminds me of like an essay. You're writing an essay for class, and you just kind of wrote an overview of what you wanted to write about, and then you wrote a few sentences. It's just not well developed, and it's a starting point, but it's not developed. It's not going anywhere. It just doesn't make any sense, and I'm not entirely sure what I would do with this team. You got to move out the contracts, and you got to try to get some. Do what I would say what the Coyotes did. Try to figure out a way to keep Hurdle, Meyer, and Couture, and figure out a way to get some like draft picks, kind of like how the Coyotes did, where you hold on to some big contracts or something. Maybe you get rid of like Gregor and Sturm or something, and somehow get a first-round pick, something like that along the lines, to figure out a way to get a good team well put together. And for the future. But I'm not entirely sure where this team's going to go, because Gruyere seems to want to go win stuff, doesn't really want to do a rebuild. However, they kind of need to do a rebuild. I'm not entirely sure. There's not a lot of stuff to trade away. There's not a lot of... I mean, I guess you could trade away your first-round pick, which is probably going to be really good. Maybe you try to just trade that away and get back, like, a Kane. Why not? Patrick Kane comes to the team. The second Kane to be on this team. So I'm not entirely sure where you go with this team. I really have no clue. It's kind of like the Chicago Blackhawks, where it's a team that doesn't seem to really have an idea, and what they're doing doesn't make any sense. They're not just a team falling and failing. They're a team that's crumbling and not really have a good plan going forward. But that's really all I have to say about my favorite team, the San Jose Sharks, that just caused such a headache. So thank you for watching. If you like this video, please pick up your click on the red subscribe button down below, and then hit the little ding bell that pops up next to it. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, not a dislike, but you can go down below to the comment section and leave any comments, concerns, suggestions, reviews, or other types of feedback, tangents, comments, or other opinions and rants you'd like to leave down below. And what do you think the Sharks need to do? Do you think that they need to they can move out the Carlson contract, or do you think somehow miraculously they can make the playoffs? I mean, we've seen crazier things than this type of team make it to the playoffs. So thank you for watching. I've been Owen, too sweet, and ta-ta for now.